The March 29th regular school committee meeting to order. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Stand, please. Please stand for a moment of silence for the national tragedy. Thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. We have half the high school here. I can see it. Um, we did have an executive session. However, there were no votes taken in executive session. Next item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the February 8th meeting and the February 15th meeting.
So moved. Second.
Motion made, second. Any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have no correspondence and we have no public comments. Moving on to the consent agenda.
So moved. I'll second it.
A motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report. Mr. Goho.
Thank you, Dr. Pilata, members of the school committee. Before we move into the superintendent's report, I would just like to acknowledge the two retirees that you approved in the consent agenda. Barbara Audette, grade 4 teacher at McGuire, and Helen Langtang, 7th and 8th grade math teacher at Birchwood Middle School. Thank you for your service and congratulations, and we wish you much health and good luck in your future endeavors. Thank you for your service to our children. First item on the agenda for the superintendent's report. I'd like to thank Mrs. Seitzinger and her team who ran the district spelling bee, and we would like to acknowledge the winner and the runner-up. So at this point, I would ask our runner-up first, Mr. Jonathan Tang, to come on up front and receive a citation from the school committee. Jonathan? Jonathan Tang. Okay, and we would like to express congratulations to the North Providence Spelling Bee winner, James McDonald. Come on up, James.
Certificate of recognition of the North Providence School Committee offers its sincere congratulations and wishes a continued success to James McDonald, first place winner, North Providence School Department District Spelling Bee, presented by myself, Dr. Frank Pilata, and Joseph Goho, Superintendent of Schools. Congratulations, James.
Okay, the next item on our agenda will be recognition of our boys varsity 2023 Division III champions, and I would ask head coach Fernando Torres to come on up front and join us at the podium. Come on up, Fernando. So, Fernando, the way this is going to work, I'm going to ask you to say whatever it is that you would like to say about your team's accomplishment. And you're going to name them, and they're going to stand up in the audience rather than having everyone come on up front. And then you have certificates from the school committee that you will distribute to them after the meeting.
Awesome.
Okay? I'd also like to acknowledge your coaches, Tim Keefe, Derek Libby, and Matt Rohelia as well.
Thank you.
Fernando is a grade 5 teacher at Greystone Elementary and also the boys varsity basketball coach. So, Fernando, the podium is yours.
Oh, great. Thank you. I just want to say thank you to Mr. Goho and the school committee for having us here today. Haven't been to one of these since I got hired, and it's freezing in here, but that's all right. I could stand here and talk about how proud I am of these guys all day. One thing that just sticks out to me is this time last year what did we finish last year? 5 and what? They might not want to say it out loud. 5 and 16, 15, whatever. And, this time last year, they were asking, can we get back in the gym and work out? A week removed from a season that wasn't so great. And, it's kind of tough because when you're sitting in the gym in March, you're wondering, like, is it all going to be worth it? And, I'd like to ask you guys, was it worth it? Yes? I like it. So I'm just endlessly proud of them and the season we had. I'd like to thank my assistant coaches as well. Derek, literally one of my best friends from Rhode Island College. We played together, and I definitely couldn't have done it without him. And Matt Rohili in the back joined us this year. Great coach. And then Coach Tim couldn't be here today, not feeling great, but just endlessly proud of these guys. And, you guys have left a legacy behind. So definitely a season to remember. So I guess I'll announce them and they'll stand up. Is that what we'd like? All right. So first up is number 3, Ryan Rodriguez. Number 4, David Tejada. Number 5, Jeremiah Lennis. He's a freshman. Number 10, Matthew Prenorio, not here today. Number 11, Mitchell Duhamel. Denzel, number 12, Denzel Elodie, couldn't be here today. Number 12, Anthony Afriye. Number 13, Lorenz Brantley. Number 21, Jack Spinella. Number 22, Kyle Preet. Number 23, Caleb Drain. Number 30, Kenny Zeng. Number 33, Ronald Vincent. Number 43, Christopher Robinson. And last but not least, number 45, Andrew Karageorgis.
So I'd just like to say I feel pretty confident. The team's very young. Probably going to be here in the exact same place next year. And then we'll have to talk about moving up to Division 2.
Let's do it.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I would invite high school principal, Mrs. Kristen McGill, up to the podium as we are going to recognize our North Providence High School DECA students and our academic decathlon team for their recent success. Mrs. McGill, you can bring up with you anyone else that you want. I know that you have Mr. Avicoli, Ms. Paisano, and Ray as well. So Ms. Paisano is our academic decathlon coach. Mr. Avicoli and Ray are our DECA advisors. So Mrs. McGill, we're going to do the same thing. We'll ask everybody to just stand. If you would recognize them, they'll stand, and then the advisors can give out the certificates to them afterwards.
Absolutely. So it is definitely half of the high school. I think, Dr. Collada, you are correct. It's a great night to be here, to see all of the families, to see everyone smiling. We did have a great basketball season. To be able to see all of the members from 9 through 12, to be able to meld and mesh. That was a great season. It was an enjoyable season for myself to watch. The division finals was exciting and it was great. So that was one carrot for this evening. But in moving forward with academic decathlon and DECA, we have some great academic awards, and North Providence High School also showed up, and we placed in a lot of great places. So we'll start with academic decathlon. And as you heard, Mr. Goho, if you please stand when your name is called. So on Sunday, March 5th, The North Providence High School academic decathlon team competed against 14 other high schools in the state in an 8-hour event at Bryant University. This year's theme was the American Revolution. The students competed in the subject areas of mathematics, science, social science, literature, music, art, economics, as well as essay, speech, and interview. Congratulations and special recognition goes to the following students. Junior, Dami Odakunle, who won a silver medal in social science and a gold medal in science in the honors division. Dami. Senior, Dominic Intreri, who won a gold medal in economics and a bronze medal for his speech in the varsity division. And senior, Nicholas Camacho, who won a gold medal in science and a silver medal for his speech in the scholastic division. As an aside, Nick also had a great swim season. For those of you who saw our boys, they were neck and neck. They did come in second, but they came in first in our heart. So good job. Great season for that as well. And our DECA competition with both of our moderators that are here. Ms. Paisano is our academic decathlon advisor, and I have Mr. Avicoli and Mr. Socio, who are our DECA advisors. So North Providence High School students competed in the Rhode Island DECA Career Development Conference on February 10th. The following students received commendations. Juniors, Leo Giusti and Gianluca Albanese. Both of these young men placed first place in Rhode Island for marketing management. Sophomores, Lucy Hagopian, second place in Rhode Island for sports and entertainment marketing series. Lucy couldn't be with us this evening. Sophomore, Chloe Marie Owusu, second place in Rhode Island for restaurant and food service management. Chloe is also not able to be with us this evening. Junior, Thomas Niosi. Tommy placed second in Rhode Island for Principles of Finance and highest score on the standardized exam. Sophomore, Ari Setlin, second place in Rhode Island for Automotive Services Marketing Series. Sophomore, Ava Graves, third place in Rhode Island for Human Resource Management Series. And last but not least, our freshman, Jaden Abdallah, third place in Rhode Island for Food Marketing Series. And we wish those students who are competing towards the end of April when they go for their national conference. So good luck to our team. Hope to hear more awards coming our way. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of our Director of Multiple Pathways, Mrs. Caffrey, who oversees the very exciting new pathway in the business department, which includes the DECA component. So thank you for helping us shepherd that new program through. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the student presentation portion of our meeting. The rest is kind of really boring, so we're not going to subject you to have to stay. So at this point, we will not be insulted. Okay, moving along. Next item on the agenda, I would ask for approval of the enclosed Employee Assistance Program Service Agreement. Many thanks to Human Resources Director Matthew Hicks for bringing this initiative forward and for the considerable amount of time and effort he had to spend vetting through various companies and contracts and working our attorney as well. We're finally at the finish line. So this is a great benefit to our employees. Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Ben. So I'm asking for approval of the enclosed agreement.
So moved. Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is I would request approval of the School Building Authority Arts Initiative Grant (MOA), which is contained in your packet. We were informed that we are going to be in receipt of $111,000 to be spent on the arts. And one of the things that we prioritize, actually the most important thing, which will take up the majority of the amount, is that we all know that during COVID, music programs particularly were impacted by the pandemic. So we're going to use most of that money to really infuse our K through 12 music program with instruments and equipment. So I'd like to ask the committee to approve the MOA.
So move. Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item on the agenda is I would ask the committee for approval of the enclosed 2023-2024 school calendar.
So moved. Second.
Any questions on the calendar? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Next item is I would request approval by the committee. We've received indication that everybody is available to move the date of the April meeting 1 week earlier to April 19th.
So moved.
Is there consensus to do that?
Second.
Any questions? I would just suggest that you send a communication out to the schools, to the parents, that the meeting date is be changed.
Yeah, my secretary can take care of that tomorrow.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, Assistant Superintendent, Mrs. Seitzinger.
Thank you, Superintendent Goho, and good evening, everyone, members of the school committee. Really quickly, I won't read everything line by line, but just to summarize, recently we had our K registration over the last couple of weekends, which went very well. Approximately 96 plus more probably now K students have registered so far. And we'll be looking forward to May orientations at the schools themselves to give the parents more information, and also I'm looking forward to the soft start again as we begin the new school year. And just as a little data point, we just looked at benchmark data from the last year's cohort to this year's cohort, and I know they're different kids, but from the fall to winter screening, the data shows a 24% increase in growth. So that's really positive, and just a positive point for that soft start. So recently on March 13th, we had our most recent professional development day. It went very well with professional learning at all levels. A lot of work around our high quality curriculum at the elementary and other levels for math and science, ELA at the high school level, as well as planning and collaboration at the school level. In March and April, we're also continuing our elementary grade level learning meetings. We've actually started those for elementary, and middle school meetings will happen probably after state testing is done. So those are great collaborative conversations, working on curriculum units of study, and always sharing best practices with each other. The curriculum work is still continuing. As I noted, we met in February. We also met with our district health and wellness team, and we'll be meeting again in April. The wellness week for this year will be May 22nd to the 26th. So with that, we'll plan some great activities. Some will be virtual, some will be internal, but across the district, lots of activities will be happening for health and wellness. Also, that K-2 Cal grant, the Coding as Another Language grant, is going well. Kids are learning about the Scratch Junior Coding Program in K1 and 2 at McGuire, which is a grant. And then later on, they'll be working on their final projects. Reading Week just also happened, and I just wanted to note that we did kind of change things up this year because we felt the reading team felt that it was a little bit overwhelming at some of the schools. So we tried to make it as a little more balanced and equitable as possible, and it went really well. Everyone, the feedback has been really positive. So thanks to our reading teachers and all the schools for their support. The elementary comprehensive literacy grant is still happening. That's with the Wonders curriculum. We've been doing learning walks across the district, K to 12, and following up on that feedback. And again, I want to thank Superintendent Goho for his support of that and working with our principals to really try to shift those instructional practices, and that's been going well. And I also want to thank Mr. Cicerone for his support of that feedback. So that's continuing. Access testing for MLL students is completed, and that was successful. We are starting, as I said, we started this week our state testing for RICAS. ELA grade 5 started this week, also middle schools, and I'm happy to say that went very well because I don't sleep during this time. It's a little stressful, but it's going very well thanks to our data team and all of the principals and our teachers who are working diligently in that process. And then we also had our recent induction meeting with our new teachers and support staff. And it's just always a pleasant conversation, really a critical friend group. And what we do is we share best practices and we go over the evaluation system, really answer any of the questions they have. And they also continue to meet with their coaches every couple of weeks to work on whatever they need as embedded professional development. And then I connected the newsletter from our SEL coordinator this year, Jen Hockenhull. A lot of great information there. And that ruler program is going well. And next year that will be implemented across the schools. And just some photos there of recent activities that you can see.
Thank you, Mrs. Seitzinger.
Thank you.
Any committee members have any questions? Thank you very much. Nice job. Next item on the agenda is school committee reports. Requests, we do not have any. We have no old business. Move into item 10, new business. Mr. Goho.
First item on the agenda, I would ask the committee to approve a new policy, which is the student search and seizure policy. We always had a protocol that we followed, which aligned to state and federal law in the rare instances where we had to conduct searches, but the district lacked a policy. So I asked Attorney Scungio to put something together for us that complied with Rhode Island and federal law regarding the rights and responsibilities of a school district in such circumstances. We did receive some feedback, and I thank Mrs. Picard as well for weighing in on it, and the other school committee members who did as well. So I just wanted to give just a brief overview and explanation as to why the policy is on the agenda.
Motion made to approve effective immediately. Second.
Any additional questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item on the agenda is an updated registration policy. As part of the district protocol, we are annually reviewing any policy that falls out of date and has not been reviewed and updated within 5 years. This policy fell within that time frame, so I'm bringing it forward to you tonight with the revised version.
Move.
Second.
Questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item on the agenda is a revised media policy. If you recall, you approved the policy last month. It was simply to codify the practice of the district and most school and municipal entities because we never had really a written policy in place. So the revised policy includes some additions to clarify some misconceptions regarding the purpose and implementation of the policy, and I would request approval.
So move. Second.
Any questions on the media policy? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Next item on the agenda is we would like to entertain a conversation with the school committee and then receive direction. Recall that we did purchase a new automobile, a used automobile for the truancy and residency officers. So we would like some direction from the committee, and Mr. Ferroli is here as well, in terms of how you would like us to proceed with disposing of the old vehicle, which was owned by the school department.
Donate it. Cars for kids. I said, can we get money for it? Oh, if we can get money for it.
Jimmy, do you want to come up to the podium in case there are any questions that you can answer regarding how this is usually handled and what options are viable and what aren't? Anybody have any suggestions?
What do you think, Steve?
I if I may, being in the business, junk vehicles have a value. Um, bare minimum it's worth is anywhere from 400 to 500 bare minimum, just standing up. So it has a value in a junk market. So I mean, do we want to I mean, you could call anybody; they'll give you that just because. Now, if you wanted to pursue it further, there's obviously more money available to it.
Sure.
Or you could donate it. Personally, I say you sell it. You call a firm, they'll come and they buy it. They'll cut you a check right away. And 90% of them don't even want the title, but you can give them the title.
Chair, I have
Mrs. Picard.
I know in our district we have a policy where we put it on Craigslist after so many days, and if they don't bid, then we scrap it. If it's this way it doesn't have any concern. So we've had they'll call and you'll get bids on it. I think we've sold it for like $4,900. You can
Right.
sell them for
Rainey will give us 600.
depending on individuals.
Thank you. Mr. Pollock.
Yeah, I'm all for selling it, but I mean, there must be some organizations out there that could use a donation. Personally, there's veterans organizations out there that they might have a disabled veteran or someone that could really use a helping hand, or even a family within the town. So I think a few $100s is great, but if we got someone out there, a town resident or an organization locally that could benefit from a vehicle, well, I'm all for donating it.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Andriozzi.
So the companies that bring them in, like Cars for Kids, so forth and so on, they sell them. They don't give them out because they're junk. So that's what they do. They sell them at an auction. They use the money for their designated charity, whatever it be. So they don't. Well, 99.75% of them never end up back on the road. They end up being sold, the money going to their charity.
And
Again,
we can designate the money for a specific cause.
and if you wanted to put it on, any type of site, you're gonna have to show it to people. You're gonna have to take time. It's just not worth it. Bare minimum, it's worth, like I said, $400 to $500. I'm sure Jimmy was just telling me that K&R will give them 600 just without even looking at it. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
Which is a local company around the corner. They'll come in, they'll just give you 600, they'll get it out of there.
Can I,
I would suggest that if we did sell the vehicles, to put that money into the line that we created when requests come forward from the organizations, and use that money to give to those requests that come in, the charitable requests.
I'm good with that.
question, Mr.
That's a good
I was
idea.
gonna say, just to sell the car. I know a scrap guy too who would come and buy the car, and we could just donate it to a local kids organization or whatever the school committee wanted to do, and then we don't keep the money. We'll just cut a check to an organization from the
Yeah,
proceeds.
I would entertain a motion to that effect if you're comfortable with that.
I'd say we get a few different scrap people and let them, whoever offers the most, instead of just saying we're picking this one or we're picking that one. I think we should give different.
I sold a car of my son's that didn't run, and I got $400 for it.
Which is
So-
fine, but I don't
He had
think-
hydrolocked the
So,
engine, so
I
I mean,
will-
I just don't think we should just.
Now,
pick
I'm
one
willing to
company.
make a motion that we have our facilities manager contact a scrap company, and we can, whatever they give us, the 600, and we put that into our account where we that line item that we set up for charity amongst our schools. And
I'll second
would be
that.
my motion.
I'll second that motion.
Check be made to the North Providence School Department, correct?
Check made payable to the North Providence School Department.
Oh, yeah. You adding that to the motion, Mr. Pollak? Adding that to the motion?
Adding that to the motion, that check, make sure the check is made to the North Providence School Department.
Everybody have the full motion, the understanding? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy. Next item on the agenda is I would request approval of the removal of obsolete textbooks from North Providence High School.
So move.
Second.
Questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item on the
So moved.
chair will entertain a motion.
Second.
There's a motion made and seconded. Any questions?
Entire committee.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Goho.
There's said every,
Next item on the agenda is the approval of bills.
So moved to pay the
Second.
bills as presented.
I'll second
Any
that.
discussion on the bills?
Just a note of appreciation for the way it continues to be organized, clear, and easy to handle, and scope and sequence is perfect.
I will let Mary know. She works very hard on this list.
I'm sure Miss Lazzarecci, who's eyeballing everything, which we do appreciate.
Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, just a quick question.
Mr. De Silva.
It's about the audit. Is that coming before us at any time in the audit? I heard the audit is kind of like outstanding. Are we get copies of that? Is that coming forward?
Yeah, the town, they usually send the copies to the town. I know they were still adding pieces with the state. There was a couple of like the single audit things that were being wrapped up. So I'm sure once that's complete, they'll insert those. We have a digital copy, but the printed copies normally get sent to town hall and then they send them over to us.
That's good, because I'm looking forward to make a comment about that too.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Next on the item on the agenda is use of property requests.
Motion made with the provision that we took one away, correct?
I'll second it.
Yeah, there was one use of property that was removed, I believe.
Okay.
Communication was sent to the committee.
Okay, so I'm making the motion to approve all of those except for that one.
And there was a second by Mr. Marciano.
I did.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have no requests to address the committee. We have no pending business. Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Motion made, second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is